Hello and welcome to the 2017 Project Sponsor Training for CDBG Public Service Awards. Alright, this training for the 2017 CDBG Project Sponsors. In this training we will cover information regarding your project and the requirements to reach your project completion. Alright, and just some of the key DMV staff that you may come in contact with your award will be Jenny Foltz. She is the Administrator of Community Investment. Also Michelle Winfield, she is the Principal Project Manager. Myself, Amber Hayes, I am the Grant Analyst. Jeff Hasser, CDBG Manager, as well as Chase Schulte, CDBG Coordinator. Alright, we're going to look at a few terms and definitions. First, project sponsor, which is basically you. You are the project sponsor. HUD has awarded funds to us here, the CDBG award to us here in the city of Indianapolis, and in turn we award these funds out to sub-recipients, which is you. The beneficiary will be the individual or the client that is actually benefiting from the program or the project. For example, the individual receiving job training services. All right, low mod. That would mean individuals or households that earn low or moderate incomes, meaning at or below 80% of the area median income, as set by HUD. Client files. Those would be all of the DMV required documentation and information related to the beneficiary, which is kept on site by you, the project sponsor. Annual income. That would be the gross amount of income of all adult household members that are participating or will be receiving during the coming 12-month period. A household, all persons who occupy a housing unit. Income from each member of the household over the age of 18 is to be considered. If you have any specific questions, just see any of the DMV staff that I mentioned earlier, and we can definitely help you out with that. All right, so let's look at some of the pre-contract requirements. All contracts will not be executed until the following are submitted to grant staff. That will be the pre-contract document. As well. E-Verify documentation should be maintained in the project file. All project files are subject to annual monitoring by city staff to verify compliance with federal programs. So that right there is just an example of the E-Verify affidavit. Benchmarks. Benchmarks are generally submitted along with the other required documents. So you'll submit that with your pre-contract documents. Those benchmarks are based on project sponsor's application and are included within the text of the contract. So you will be putting your benchmarks in your contract. Sample benchmark statement. Let's see here, the completion, for example, the completion of this project on December 31st, 2017 will result in use services for 50 low mod income youth. So that's just an example of a benchmark. All right, so let's take a look at the contract process. All right, contracts. Contracts are drafted and approved by DMV and city staff, signed by the project sponsor staff, and executed into legal form. Contracts hold project sponsors and DMV accountable for all funds awarded and outline accomplishments to be met. Any deviation from what is defined in the contract requires an amendment, and we'll talk about more of that later. This process can take from 23 up to 42 business days to the whole process of putting the contract together. Contracts spend about 5 business days total in DMV, and the remainder are in other offices. A contract signing will be 1 day in January. We propose to have it 1 day in January, sometime between 9 and 12 at the platform on East Market Street. Once the contracts are close to being completed, we will announce a more exact date and location of where you can go to get your contract signed. All right, so this is just an overview of the contract process. Once again, that could be 23 to 42 business days total. First, the document is created by grant staff. Then the document, the OCC and the grantee receive their electronic copies for review, an unofficial approval. Then it will go to legal. It will be in legal review for 7 to 14 days. Grant staff submits 3 contracts to the OCC for review and signature. Then after that, the grantee review will be about 5 to 7 days. The grantee will review, approve, and sign signature pages and submit 1 original notarized E-Verify. Then the requisition will be created. That usually takes about a day. Creation of the requisition in PeopleSoft by the grant staff, so by us here. Then after that, the CFO will sign that, and that should take about 1 day. So that contract will be reviewed by DMV CFO. The step after that will be the director review. The director will take a look at the contract. That could take anywhere between 1 to 3 days. Then it moves on to the next stage, which is it goes to purchasing. Purchasing will review the contract. That usually takes about 7 to 14 days. Once purchasing has reviewed the contract, it will go to the PO creation. That is where grant staff will create the PO for the contract. That could take about 1 to 5 days. And then once that PO is created, the PO is returned and a copy of the contract will be sent to you, the project sponsor. All right, now this is a copy of the signature page, which you will be required to sign 3 of these signature pages. And it will have your name, the organization's name on it. All right, now this is a copy of the E-Verify affidavit. There's also 3 required per contract. All right, now we're going to take a little look at the client eligibility. All right, so client eligibility. All beneficiaries of the project will need to be tracked for the total number served. All low mod individuals will need to complete a client profile form. No additional documentation for client income will be needed. Also, at least 51% of all of the beneficiaries must be low mod individuals. Client files containing the information and documentation will need to be kept for monitoring purpose. So once you get the client form filled out, then you will want to keep that on at your location for monitoring purposes. All right, so this is just a copy or an example of the client profile form. For client income documentation, only a client profile form will be required. No additional income documentation will be needed to be presented to DMV staff. So once again, that's what the form looks like, and you just need to complete that and keep that on site. All right, so client eligibility. The client will apply for your program and provide necessary income documentation. After that, then the project sponsor staff will complete the client profile form with the beneficiary. DMD staff will then monitor a sample of the client file to ensure that beneficiaries are income eligible. And then DMD staff will contact project sponsor if there are any errors or issues that need to be addressed. All right, so this is a copy of the presumed benefit form. If the CDBG funded program serves exclusively one of the groups listed on the CDBG limited clientele form, then a project sponsor may complete just one of these documents for the entire program as opposed to a client profile form for each client. Please contact us if you have any questions or prior to completing your presumed benefit form, just so we can make sure that everything is in line. All right, so here are some of the presumed benefit groups. We have abused children, battered spouses, elderly persons, severely disabled adults, homeless persons, illiterate adults, persons living with AIDS, or migrant farm workers. All right, so just a couple frequently asked questions. Can I just assume my clients are low mod? No, you will not. You will be required to go over the client profile form with the client and have them be able to sign off on their income levels. However, no additional documentation is required outside of their signature on the client profile form. Once again, the only exception would be previously discussed in the presumed benefits group. Another frequently asked question. What do we do if someone is over 80% of the area median income? Well, you know what? That's fine. If someone in your program is 80% AMI, as long as 51% of the total individuals that you are serving are still at or below 80%, then you're fine. And if you have any additional questions on that, just please feel free to ask. All right, another question is, does the AMI ever change, or can I use my old calculations, or my own calculations? The AMI levels are changed every year by HUD, usually happening sometime in the summer. Project sponsors will be notified when new AMI levels are released. Client intake forms will change as a result. So anytime that the AMI levels change, we will update the forms and get those sent out to you, the project sponsor. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 2 CFR Part 200 audits. All right, so any project sponsor expending $750,000 or more in federal awards during the sub-recipient's fiscal year must meet the audit requirements of the 2 CFR Part 200. Now, based on 2016 DMD funding as of now, would not apply to any project sponsors. And I believe, okay. All right, so audits are required to be completed within 9 months of the end of the subrecipient's fiscal year, and this replaces the A-133. All right, if there are findings through the audit, the project sponsor must determine what corrective actions are necessary to resolve findings, and the city will issue management decisions on audit findings within 6 months after receipt of the project sponsor's audit report. Project sponsor must provide grant staff with signed single audit certificates, which I mentioned earlier. City grant staff will keep track of audit information and findings, and will take corrective action as necessary. The city may have more stringent requirements than 2 CFR Part 200 audit. Contact DMD staff for any additional information that you need on that. All right, so let's take a look at the public service claims. All right, so public service and community center claims. The claims will be filled out and submitted to DMD staff containing all of the eligible costs related to the project. Claims are submitted by project sponsor staff to the grant staff. So basically you'll compose your claim together and you'll turn that in to us here at in DMD. Claims provide documentation to reimburse funds back to the project sponsor. Without it, we cannot reimburse for eligible costs. So we will not be able to reimburse you for eligible expenses without documentation. Once a project sponsor has an executed contract, then project sponsors can complete and submit a claim. Once submitted, it can take about 30 days for the project sponsor to receive a check. Claims can be mailed or dropped off to DMD's office. Attention to Amber Hayes, 200 East Washington Street, Suite 2042, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204. All right, so just to reiterate, salaries and benefits of CDBG-funded program staff are the only eligible expenses for public service and community center awards. So only salaries and benefits are eligible expenses. All right, so here's a look at the claims process. A contract is executed outlining eligible expenses and outcomes. Then you, the project sponsor, expenses are incurred by you. Then the project sponsor compiles a claim with all backup documentation. Then you would submit the claim to city staff for approval, which could take up to 2 weeks. If the documentation is sufficient, the claim is approved and sent to accounts payable for disbursement. That could take up to 2 weeks. The claim is then processed and a check is mailed to you, the project sponsor, and that will take about a week. Also refer to the Policies and Procedures Manual for detailed steps if you have any additional questions. And claims can be emailed to DMV staff for review prior to submission. So I want to let you know they can be emailed to us for prior to submitting them, just to make sure that everything looks good, but we will need originals in order to complete the process. All right, so here is a sample of the cover sheet of the claim packet. So this is the claim summary form. Now the invoice number should be in the same format as the previous claims. So for example, you're going to put the grant year, for example 17, dash the last 4 digits of your PO number, which you will receive once your contract is executed, and then you're going to put another dash and put the claim number. So for example, it would be 17-123-01 if it's your first invoice, and then the next invoice would be -02 and so forth. Now double check and make sure that you're using the correct format, because any claims that are submitted and the invoice number is not in the correct format, it will be sent back to the project sponsor to redo. All right, now the contract period you will also put the contract period on the cover sheet, and that should match the begin and end dates of your executed contract and any amendments. Now the coverage period is also on the cover sheet here, and that will be the range of dates in which the expenses are incurred. Lines in the description section should match the budget lines in your executed contract. This form cannot be modified, and submissions must include original signatures, like I mentioned before. Photocopies will not be accepted. All right, so this is the accounting report. This will be the second page of your claim packet. The top data fields will automatically populate for you. The budget category and budget amount items should match the budget line items in your executed contract. Current amount to be claimed should include the total amount being claimed in each budget line, which is manually entered. Then you have the total prior amount claimed, which is manually entered as well and should be updated with each claim. Amount claimed to date and balance available will automatically calculate. Just double check your math and make sure that everything matches what's in your contract. All right, now the third page of the packet will be the detail of salary and wages. This should summarize all the timesheets that will be included in your claim packet. The top data fields will automatically populate. All other fields will need to be entered manually. Please ensure there are sufficient hours in supporting timesheets to cover the claimed hours. Only hours related to CDBG funded program will be eligible. So only hours related to the CDBG funded program will be eligible for reimbursement. Hours claimed before the contract start date will be ineligible. So once again, you cannot claim hours before the start date of your contract. They will not be able to be reimbursed. All right, and then the next page of the claim packet will be the detail of expenses. The detailed expenses sheet needs to include every non-salary and benefits expense that is required for reimbursement. The top data fields will auto-populate. All other fields will need to be entered manually. Please be detailed in the description column. Only CDBG public service contracts with program delivery included should use this sheet. So once again, only CDBG public service contracts with program delivery included should use this sheet. So if you don't have program delivery, then you don't have to worry about submitting this sheet in the claim packet. All right, so here is a look at the CDBG claim schedule and guidelines. Public Service and Community Center Awards. The contracts will start January 1st of 2017. The contract end date will be December 31st of 2017. Your first claim will be due on or before May 31st, 2017. Your second claim will be due on or before September 27th, 2017. And on your second claim, you should have at least 80% of your total award drawn at that point. And then your final claim on or before January 15th, 2018. Now, I do want to let you know that you don't have to submit in three different claim times throughout the year. If you want to submit your claim for your entire award at once, you can do that as well. So, for example, if you see here, if you have a $15,000 community center award, your first claim would need to be $3,000 or more. Your second claim would need to be $9,000, and then your final claim would be $3,000 or the balance. So that's just an example here of kind of how the claim schedule works. Now, if for some reason you need a claims schedule or a different schedule other than this, just please email myself or Jeff Hassler. All right, so project sponsor monitoring and quarterly reports. All right, so what is monitoring? The City of Indianapolis is required by HUD to ensure funds are being used in accordance with all applicable requirements. According to HUD, monitoring is defined as a systematic review of programs and fund administration that helps evaluate whether compliance with CDBG grant regulations are being achieved and can be utilized to evaluate program management, performance, and program outcomes. All right, so CDBG HUD will monitor the City of Indianapolis Department of Metropolitan Development Division of Community Investment. So which is basically saying that HUD monitors us, and then the project sponsor, a nonprofit organization that is selected by the city to administer all or a portion of the CDBG program activity. So that is you, the project sponsor. Why must the city monitor? There are three reasons why the city monitors. City monitoring is funded activities and entities it funds. The city is legally required to ensure compliance with CDBG. Monitoring can be useful for improving program design and management. It can evaluate how well its funded programs are achieving the desired outcomes. All right, so we have types of monitoring. We have three general types of monitoring. We have program monitoring, which will assess the overall performance and operation of the program and help the city assess if its programs and activities are carried out effectively and in compliance with CDBG rules. Administrative and financial monitoring. That measures the fiscal and administrative management of the CDBG funds. Then we have project monitoring, which evaluates compliance with requirements related to specific CDBG activities and projects. All right, the frequency of monitoring. CDBG monitoring typically occurs on an annual basis. It will occur on an annual basis in the summer. If the city has discovered that a project sponsor may be at risk of non-compliance or non-performance, it may need to monitor that project sponsor more frequently than annually in order to minimize the risk that the funded entity will not carry out the activity in compliance with CDBG rules or the terms of the written agreement. So yeah, we will be doing a desk monitoring for all public service awards this year, and we will definitely send out emails and notification ahead of time so everyone will be aware of when that is and what they need to provide. All right, so the quarterly reports here. CDBG recipients are required to report based on benchmarks and outcomes in the contract. There will be the quarterly reports. There will be 4 quarterly reports that will be due. The first one will be due April 14th of next year, the second, July 14th, the third, October 13th, and the final will be January 12th of 2018 when those reports will be due. All right, this is a copy or just a sample of the front part of the Public Service Quarterly Reporting Form. We will be, or I will be emailing those out to you, and you can just keep those on file for whenever you need to complete it and submit it. All right, webinars. Okay, webinars will be posted throughout the year on the DMD website. I do want to let you know the website is down right now. It is being worked on and should be up soon. The webinars will include in-depth training on different aspects of the award. None of the webinars you are required to attend unless DMD specifically requests. If you are unable to attend the live webinar training, a link to a YouTube video of the training will be posted on the DMD website. Email notification of dates will be sent to all recipients ahead of time. So we will let you know when we have them going on, and try to get them out to you in enough time that you can shave out some time in your schedule to call in. All right, so here are some of the potential 2017 webinars that we have been discussing. Income verification, updating the quarterly reports webinar and the claims webinar, a monitoring webinar, webinar on the contracting process, and also if you could think of any other monitor or webinars that you would be interested in us presenting or putting together, please feel free to email myself. My contact information will be at the end of this webinar. All right, so here are a few important CDBG dates that you may want to mark on your calendar. Once again, the quarterly reports will be due on those dates, April 14th, July 14th, October 13th, and January 12th. And that's January 12th of 2018. December 1st will be the final day to submit a claim to be reimbursed in 2017. So that's December 1st of 2017 will be the last day for you to submit a claim to be reimbursed in December or in 2016. But you do have until January 5th to submit your final claim for the 2017 award year. All right, now December 31st is the expiration of your 2017 CDBG contract. And once again, these dates will be subject to change, but I doubt that they will be. They're pretty concrete, but if they do change, we will definitely notify everyone. All right, so we have the CDBG Program Policy and Procedures Manual. All right, the Procedures Manual is a document that outlines all of the requirements for the City of Indianapolis' CDBG program. This does not include all regulations or requirements with the CDBG program. Most up-to-date manual will be posted on the Indy.gov CDBG website and available for all project sponsors to reference. Project sponsors are required to keep a copy in their offices, although the copy can be digital. So I do want to reiterate that you, as a project sponsor, you are required to keep a copy of the CDBG Program Policies and Procedures Manual. However, it can be electronic and just be saved on your computer under your favorites. But we do need you to have a copy of that. When you need clarification on how to proceed or guidance for what we would require, this manual will be a great place to get that information. Updates can be made at any time throughout the year, though DMV staff will email out any updated copy of the CDBG manual to our project sponsored contact list. So anytime any changes are made in this manual, we will make sure that we keep you updated and send out any updates directly to you. All right, so here's some contact information or where you can get more information if you have more questions. CDBG Grant Manager, Jeff Hasser, there's his email and his phone number as well. CDBG Program Analyst, myself, Amber Hayes. This is my email address and phone number. So if you have any questions, you can just shoot an email or give us a call at that contact information. And also our website at indy.gov/DMV is also a great source of information. All right, if you have any questions, you can always, like I said, email myself or Jeff, and we will be more than happy to get back with you. Thank you for attending this webinar, and if you have any further questions, just please contact myself or Jeff Hasser. You have a great day.